Mr. Ross, I'm going to ask you one question, and then I'm going to come and ask one more question here in the room. But I really appreciated what you had to say about accessing the services and how sometimes mental health can have an impact on a veteran's capacity to ask for help. One of the things that I've been pushing for is more training in trauma-informed care for VAC staff, and perhaps even having specialized trauma-informed service providers that when a complex case comes to them, that they actually have the training to deal with that and deal with those issues. I'm just wondering if you have any thoughts on if that would be a way forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And the challenge is when you go to a Veteran Affairs office that sometimes some of the caseworkers may be very proficient in trauma-informed care. Whether you get that case manager or not, though, is a bit of a gamble. So the challenge is, particularly the veterans that we've been working with, is trying to identify if there is somebody in that particular office who's going to be able to assist in a safe way, and trying to identify who those people are and trying to get the person in front of them.
Thank you. That's so helpful. So my last question, and I forgot to say last time that the War Museum is my favorite museum. I've been there several times, and I'm not just saying that to be complimentary. I just find it such a powerful museum, and it's so educational. So I want to come back to that part, though, that reconciliation is really more about action. And I believe that a huge part of reconciliation is education, because a lot of the racist comments that people make are based in their total lack of understanding. So I'm just wondering, how could this committee and Canada incorporate Indigenous history in a way that honors reconciliation? We need a recommendation for this, so I would really appreciate just your thoughts.
That's a fantastic question. Thank you. I think, so how can you incorporate? I don't know if I have an answer at the tip of my tongue. I think.
If only these were easy.
Yes, you're really hitting me with the most difficult questions.
So I know my time is almost up, but could you consider that and maybe send a response back to the committee? Because I think it is really important. You know, when people hear from you, some of this history you told us today, even in the committee, you could see people were shocked by that. And I think that is part of the importance of reconciliation, is bringing a hidden history forward.
Yes.
So that it's no longer an Indigenous story, but a Canadian story. And I think we haven't made that transition yet. So if you could just maybe think from that historic lens and give your thoughts to us, it would be really appreciated here in this committee.
Absolutely. I know from a museum perspective, obviously, I think the War Museum is moving that direction, especially with the creation of my position and the work that I'm doing there. That's a real effort, is to try and do these things. We hold programs on Indigenous Veterans Day where we try to elaborate on this stuff. But I don't know if right off the top of my head I have a recommendation for the committee. So I'll give that some thought. Thanks.
Okay, so thank you